This conference will now be recorded.
Good evening. The time being 6 p.m., I will call to order the Tuesday, June 25th, 2024 meeting of the Tilton Planning Board. First on our agenda is a boundary adjustment. Haven Grove, Planning Board case number 24-08, map R20, lots 24 and 23, boundary line adjustment between 246 Laconia Road and 232 Laconia Road, maps R20, lots 24 and 23. Let's take a look.
I'll make a motion to bring the application to the floor for.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Oh, all right, that's the next case. That's where I was confused.
Where's the boundary line?
I have some more plans if I may approach.
Sure. Does anybody need a plan?
Is there anything different from these?
Are they different? No. Then
Ours are fine, right?
I'm going to make a motion to accept the applications as substantially complete.
I'll second that.
motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. The floor is yours.
I'm here to propose a boundary line adjustment. As you can see, I'll approach and I have them highlighted.
Well, can you just state your name for the record? I'm sorry. Thank you.
For the record, my name is John Bernard. I'm the owner of 246 and 232 Laconia Road.
Thank you.
And if I may, I'll approach and give you some plans that are highlighted.
Sure, just don't talk between here and there. We don't want.
Different, but
You can use the microphone.
This is a challenge.
Thank you.
I just want to see where the old and the new was. Okay. You got this one here.
yeah, and this is the same thing. The only difference with this one.
You got to talk
Sorry.
in the microphone.
You can use this one, John.
You can use that one.
You can share this one.
The only difference is that the surveyor signed this yesterday as far as the date is concerned. And when he does that, he confirms everything is correct. So there is no difference. He said there was no difference, but this one is a signed plan that you have in front of you.
Thank you.
Is this highlighted area both the old and the new lot line? Or the new? It's like a dotted line and a solid line.
Right. The highlighted area is the area that is being awarded to 232. So,
Oh, okay.
so 246 is the 49.97 acres, and that one is 0.64. It will now have 0.68 of an acres. And if you look down here in the notes, I'm reading upside down, but this is the first time I've ever seen this when they actually talked about net land, which I thought was interesting. And basically the net land is what is subtracted from wetlands.
Yep.
So this, you can see that it goes up. It goes to it's a 0.51 of an acre, half acre now that it's buildable on.
Yeah, I see that.
And the reason for the boundary line adjustment is I would have had to go to put a decent sized garage in here, which I'm hoping to do. I would have had to gone for a variance, but this, by allowing me to put it back, it pushes back the 20-foot setback and allows for a 30 by 50 building to go in there, a storage shed that I wouldn't have been able to do before. So that's the whole purpose of it.
Okay. The plan I had was incorrect, so I was confused.
Mhm.
Because it said 49.78 acres to become 49.82 acres. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, you're decreasing it. So the math was wrong here, but on this version that you just gave us, it is correct.
Okay, so that may be one of the changes that he found, or
Yep.
That's the correct one.
So just from my understanding,
So you can see this
both
is wrong.
lots cross the road and you're expanding the 232
Mhm.
property on either side of the road?
no, let me,
No, that's an inset on the lower left. That's not the actual lot. That's just an inset to show
Oh.
you the closer up detail.
Okay, so
Mhm.
it's just this.
this is a blown up piece of it.
Okay, that's what confused me. I wasn't sure if the blown up was also
no, thank
part
you,
of
though.
it. So it's just you're shifting the one line. Got it.
It's 18.89 feet is all we're shifting. But hey, if you're in a setback for 18 feet, it makes a big difference. So that's,
And it does make the lot more square.
yeah, it does. And it increases, it makes it, so I think the proper term I should be saying.
Just make sure you speak into the microphone, please. Thank you. I know. I gotta follow the
I'm
rules.
trying, my friend.
Pay attention.
We're making the lot more conforming instead of less conforming, so I think it's an easier approval, but by doing it, making it more conforming.
Mhm.
Well, there's definitely plenty of land in the other lot to take from.
Did you have a wetland scientist map the wetlands?
Absolutely.
Because I don't see it on this print. Maybe it's on a different. I know
It
you've
has
had
been.
several.
Right, I have a plan that's been stamped with the surveying and the
Okay.
wetlands, and he just delineated those. We usually accept them once she stamps it and it's been submitted
Right.
to the town. It's
These are drawn from that.
correct.
Okay. Just wanted to confirm. Thank you, John.
Yep. Pleasure.
Is all
That's-
that information in General Note 8? Are those all of the people who did the wetland designations?
I'd have to come and approach and look. It's Cynthia from Stony Ridge, so that's what it says.
Microphone,
That's what
microphone. Sorry. Just,
I'm just going to carry this around. Yes, if it says Cynthia from Stony Brook Wetlands woman, that's the one who did the wetlands.
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it's the last one.
Oh, yeah, there it
It's
is.
Usually it's stamped, so.
You won't get me
Kinda
to say
threw
her
me.
last name. I wouldn't get it right. 3 tries, I
As
don't
long
think.
as it's stamped on a main one.
Celsius.
Yeah, I think if, once she stamps a plan and it's been submitted to the town, I think that we go with that for 5 years. So that's what my understanding is.
I make a motion to accept planning board case number 24-08.
I'll second
Second.
that.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion by the board? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, John.
Go forth and adjust. Just keep moving lot lines. All right, I lost this one. Is this the other one?
Night, John.
Oh, that's the minutes. All right. Next on our agenda is a site plan review continuance. Kyle Minery, Planning Board Case 24-05, map R13, Lot 6. Site plan review continued from our May 14th, 2024 meeting, 35 Range Road.
Before you start, did we already have the application and everything, Pat, on May 14th?
I thought that was a conceptual.
Yeah.
Everything was approved and done on the site plan. This is just an update because he'll explain when he went to get the map, there was a change.
Okay.
So this is just an update.
All right. The floor is yours, Mr. Minery.
I'm Kyle Minery, owner of 35 Range Road. Essentially, after we started looking into the new driveway location for the existing home at 35 Range Road, it was an oversight on my end that we were going to end up having to move a utility pole to get the driveway in. So essentially, we're just looking to extend the frontage for the existing lot of 35 Range Road to allow for the driveway to enter at a separate location and not have to move the utility pole.
Which one is that on this map? This long one right here?
Oh, make sure you use the microphone when you talk to him or her.
All right, so this is the existing home here. So before the frontage on this property was only supposed to be 250 feet. And that was putting us, about 20 feet down from this utility pole.
Okay.
40 feet. So in order to get the driveway in here for the existing layout of the house, we were going to have to either move this location of the pole or we would end up driving straight into the well, which was not going to work. So now we're proposing to drag the line down approximately 100 feet, which increased this lot size, and then bring the driveway in here, meeting the setback requirement, and it would work for the lay of the land.
So you moved the lot line also? You said increase the lot size?
Yeah, so on May 14th, when this was proposed, this line was approximately 100 feet
Okay.
up Range Road, and this was only a 3 some odd acre parcel. Now bringing this down, this is increasing this lot size. We also increased the neighboring lot size up to 5 acres, and all that did was decrease this previously proposed to be 16-acre lot to a 13-acre lot. So
this is a lot line adjustment? Is that what this is?
Sounds like it.
well, none of this has been processed. So the subdivision hasn't been processed or anything yet. So it was approved on May 14th. Nothing was ever recorded.
Well, on May 14th, we came to a conclusion with this. We approved. Case was done. So now you're back. It's not really a continuation. It's either an update because we need to correct something from that approval, or you're doing a lot line adjustment. So what's happening here?
Okay, it's whatever you guys tell me it is. All I'm trying to do is alter the previously approved plan.
Okay, so what
Because he made a mistake.
show me what you're doing. I'm sorry.
The rest of us can't see what you're doing either.
He's going to have to go to, yeah,
You're going to either have to go to everybody or
Okay.
he's going to have to show everybody.
I know what it is.
Is there a way to get it on the wall?
Yeah,
Oh, you
is
want him?
this
Okay.
on, or can it be on?
So this right here was 100
we'll try to
feet
get it on the
here,
wall.
and his driveway was going to hit this utility, and if he went this way, he was going to hit his well. So he moved, instead of his driveway here, he moved the driveway here, had to move the lot line 100 feet.
So right here,
That's a new lot line.
that's gone. Is it?
But it affected all of them.
Show the new lot line?
No,
It didn't show the existing because it was never.
Does this document show what you're trying to do now?
Yes.
Okay. And the ones you came in with May 14th showed that lot line in a different place?
Correct.
And also the next lot line
The
too.
next one.
The next
next
one got
It
moved
affected everything. You had to move
and this
everything.
one was reduced.
Okay.
So,
All the lot
so these
sizes.
three
changed.
lines are
Uh,
changed.
Let's make this one conversation,
Right
please.
here is today's proposed subdivision that you want approved.
Correct.
Okay, well, it's kind of sideways.
Do you want me to show you?
Oh, no, I got it. But Mr. Damon needs to see.
I have
Nate
no
needs-
idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Absolutely none.
we're just trying to get this up here. If you'd like, I can come talk
Sure,
with you
go right over there and
beforehand.
show
but-
Go on, because we all understand.
And just talk in his microphone if you.
Oh, grab
right
that,
over and
grab
show
that,
him.
grab that
Take
microphone.
that microphone. We can share this one.
All right.
That's the portable.
Alrighty.
Where's the pole?
So the utility pole is right here.
That's it right there.
Yep.
Like 3 lot line changes.
So this is the proposed driveway?
This here is the existing
It's
driveway.
This
three
is
lot line
existing.
adjustments.
Yep, this is now the
This-
proposed driveway
This one
here.
shrunk. Oh, so it's
Yeah,
only
see,
2
that's
lot
not-
lines.
it's not
'cause
very
this one
well done.
increased, this one
Oh,
increased and
okay.
shrunk this one,
So
and this was 16 to 13.
this is the existing driveway here?
Yep, gravel
And it's still
drive.
close to this pole?
No, it's no longer on that property anymore, so this can't be
Can we,
here.
can we make sure we have one conversation, please, so that everyone can understand? Sorry.
So
So this driveway, the existing driveway was on 2 lots.
no, right now, as we speak, this lot is owned by this house individually in entirety. None of this is actually true at this time. So on May 14th, we had a plan that was altered from this that was approved. After we were finishing recording everything for the Mylar, I realized that I had made a mistake and the driveway was not going to work based off of the setback and where the new boundary line was going to be for the existing
Oh, it's
home.
based off of the setback. Okay, now I understand. What is this here?
So this inside one, the solid line is the 100-foot building setback.
Okay,
The dotted line is the 125-foot septic setback.
okay. Where's the driveway for this property?
The driveway for that property is going to come in here. If you see that small boxed-in driveway where the
No, I
old
don't
one.
see that. No.
Okay. Well,
There's
it's
so many lines disconnected here. So it's right here
Yep.
and it's only going to go in what? 20 or 30 feet?
No, it's going to make it to the house, but right now this house location and all that is going to be in this vicinity, but we didn't draw in driveways all the way to houses.
So you want to approve this maybe? You want us approved on a maybe?
On a maybe. What do you mean a maybe?
Well, this driveway is only going to go this far, but maybe it's going to go to the house. That's a maybe.
I don't understand what a driveway has to do with a subdivision application.
Well, what I'm trying to find out is where the driveways are.
Correct.
That's what I'm trying to find out where the boundary lines are. I don't know where you've changed the boundary lines. Which boundary lines have you changed? Show me.
Based off of from May 14th.
Yep.
This boundary line here,
This one right there.
cutting across,
Okay.
was approximately 100 feet in this way towards the existing home.
Okay.
This one used to cut on a slight angle right to this cornerstone wall. It is now proposed to go this way and back up. And that's strictly just to that got us up to 5 acres, which meant we didn't have to apply for a state subdivision application because now it's a 5-acre lot instead of less than.
This is 5 acres. It says 3.31.
3.31 of acres of upland. Now the total acreage is 5.00.
Thank you. Thank you. So you want a property line adjustment for this boundary line and for this boundary line?
If that's what it's considered, like I said,
I don't
what
know what you want.
well, nothing was recorded with Registry of Deeds after our meeting on May 14th, nothing was legally recorded. The proposed subdivision was approved. Okay, then yes, I would rely on you guys to tell me what I'm looking for.
Yeah, so nothing was recorded, but the subdivision application was approved. approved. And so
Correct.
that is the plan that we have approved. So if you're
Yeah, we didn't approve.
changing the boundary lines and changing the driveway location, it may be best to submit a new subdivision application.
No.
No, Nate.
Just to
Just
do a
the lot line.
lot line adjustment.
Well,
But wouldn't it be 3 lot
Well,
line adjustments?
it's not
with
an
multiple lots?
update because the May 14th was approved. That case is done. It was approved. So now you're basically presenting a new case. Doesn't seem very complicated to me, but nevertheless, it's a new case. And I believe abutters would have to be notified because it is new. It's a new case. And what you're asking us for are property line adjustments, boundary line adjustments, which, like I said,
Even though the old one was never recorded.
Okay.
But it's on record that we
because
approved.
we approved it and we didn't continue it, we approved it. Case done. New case. The law requires us to follow through with, notifying abutters, da. But like I said, I think it's just time delay.
Right, which is unfortunately, a major problem for me. And I came in 5 weeks ago, a week after, this was brought to my attention and I realized this, and I waited all the way till today to go through with this based off of the direction of planning.
For lot line, we have to do a butters?
Yep.
Kyle is right. My understanding was an update, it did not need to be notified of the butters for the update. And so the abutters were not notified, but this, Mr. Menery has been delayed several times on the part of the town as well. Because you remember, we had to do a waiver for the road, waiting on the selectmen. Selectmen signed it and approved it and then decided that we were going to change it. That was another month delay, or a month and a half delay, maybe even 2 months. So then he came back. He got that approved, noticed a week later when he was going to bring the Mylar back to get signed that there was an error in it. And we had to wait for this meeting because I was told incorrect information that it was an update and that the abutters did not need to be notified on an update.
How would this lot line adjustment hold you up for anything? You have an approved subdivision on May 14th.
Because he hasn't filed it.
Right, so I wouldn't want to file a
Originally.
subdivision and then go to alter lot lines immediately after that.
That's why I don't understand why we have to get a new case since it wasn't filed.
If you were not moving lot lines and you're just coming in and saying, I've got to move the driveway or
Right.
something like that's different. It almost doesn't affect the planning board. It really affects land use office and the building
Right.
inspector.
And it doesn't affect anything that the abutters heard the last time they were here. It's all internal to the subdivision that.
I agree. I mean,
Approved.
like I said, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but the other case was finished.
And since it hasn't been filed,
That's,
I'm not sure. I think that's questionable in my mind.
The case itself hasn't been filed with who, or the changes haven't been updated with
The
the registry?
Subdivision has not
the
been filed.
subdivision has not been filed at Belknap County
Right, but
Registry of Deeds, but nevertheless,
I would think that would be irrelevant because it could be 5 years between approval of a plan and development happening and someone realizing a change needs to be made. I understand in this case, the time frame was almost immediate, but if the case itself, if the planning board case itself is closed, then I would think there would need to be a new case filed, but
Well, and the other side of this is the lines that are being moved do not affect the abutters
Correct.
because they are within the subdivision itself. None of the outside boundaries, if you will, I mean, they are, it's not like they're being moved in. It's not like one of the other abutting properties said, okay, you can move into my property. They're,
Hmm.
so I don't know.
I tend to think that we don't have to have a new case, but that's my opinion only. Because we have not changed how the subdivision is laid out. Laid out exactly the way it was, the entire subdivision, when the abutters were here before.
Well, the fact that
All we changed are a couple of lot lines.
it's 4 lots.
Correct.
It was 4 lots. It's going to be 4 lots.
Yep.
Just the size of those lots have
Just
altered.
the way the
In-
pie was
increase.
divvied up has changed.
Pardon?
The slices of the pie have changed. The size.
Okay, the good way of
Right.
putting it. So it's definitely not a continuation, I don't think, because we didn't continue it.
We signed off on it. We closed it.
Mhm.
Next case. In Nate's example, where if it was 5 years down the line, you'd still have to come in and do a lot line adjustment. So if it was a week or 5 years, I think it's the same conditions that you have to.
Well, this case is not without, as Pat said, the Board of Selectmen has held this up. It was new to us. Although, Nate, thank you. You sent that information, which was very helpful, on Class 6 roads.
oh yeah, those were
I'm inclined to make a motion to accept this.
And I'm inclined to second it.
Is that a motion and a second?
Yeah, motion to accept. Planning Board Case 24-05, map R13, lot 06.
I second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Tom?
Mr. Minery, where's the driveway on the bottom piece of property? Oh, it's a shared driveway with the other piece of property?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Which was that was on the original plan as
Yes, it
well.
was. I believe it was, yes.
and then there's that interior access road, which is how they get between the houses and the shared lot. So I'm just curious as to what exactly is being held up on your end,
On my personal end,
like for this project. Like, what is the
yeah, no,
approval of adjusting these lines holding you up from doing as far as like work on the properties or
right,
permits or anything with the state or what have you?
right, yeah. So I currently have 35 Range Road nearly completely remodeled. The property itself is going to be complete in a matter of the next week. And now we're talking, we would be July 9th, so I wouldn't make that meeting. I'd make the meeting 2 weeks after that. And from there,
August.
You'd make the meeting in August 20th.
August.
Yeah, okay. So that's my dilemma is, and then now we're saying that I can't even start construction or anything like that until September, October, things of that nature. If that's the route that I look to go with the new lots.
So I guess since you have an existing plan that's been approved, could you not start construction under that while a case is going through to change the lot lines?
I do not believe the town of Tilton would give me a building permit for a lot that doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to, then you'd have to file it with the state. That's the catch-22 there, yeah.
We have a motion in a
Yep,
second. right?
motion second. Any other discussion amongst the board? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Nay.
Oh,
Was it, were you
I was an aye.
an aye? Okay, motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
4-2.
4-2, yeah,
Thank you.
sorry. I can't count today. I'm mathematically challenged. All right, next on our agenda, site plan review continuance. Farmland Real Estate, Planning Board Case 24-01, map R26, lot 30. Site plan review, 549 West Main Street. Some of us can share. Just make sure you speak into the microphone, please. You missed the lecture on the microphone, but make sure you speak into a microphone, please.
You can use the shared mic.
I was just right there and I didn't even look.
You want to walk around.
Because it is.
Pat, do you have a copy of the existing site plan available? I didn't check my stuff. I have to apologize.
Okay, so this is a new,
This is an update to the existing. From what we discussed at the last meeting.
okay, okay.
All right.
Lately.
So
Yeah, the front's like clean.
we don't have to approve anything quite yet because it's a continuation. And I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
Stephanie.
Stephanie, thank you. That's my sister-in-law's name. Just. All right. The board ready to hear from the applicant?
Sure.
All right. The floor is yours.
Okay, so our updated site plan is going to include the 39 parking spaces that you guys have approved for us already. We're going to keep it at 39 parking spaces. All parking spaces are going to be on the asphalt as requested. So all the way around, if you look at the site plan from the front of the building all the way to the back of the building, everything is pulled forward to allow for at least 20 feet of clearance around the entire building. So in total, I have 6 employee spots, which are labeled with E's throughout the map that you'll see. I have 32 spots that are for customers, which are labeled with the C. And then there is one with a star on it, and that will be our handicap van accessible spot. And that will be painted and everything as long as this gets approved that is where the spot can go. And that kind of is the site plan. The only other thing that's being added if it is approved would be the dumpster in the back kind of left corner over there. But as for everything, it's all going to be on that asphalt and nothing's going to be on the gravel. It did condense the spaces from the original plan. That was like 52 that we proposed down to the 39 that you guys had suggested.
Yep.
And we're going to keep it as such.
Thank you. Anyone from the board? I do have one thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're going to have 2 accessible spaces, just because the ADA is 1 per 25. So you're into that second threshold of 25, so you need to have 2.
So the last time you said if it was over 50, I needed 2, 1.
It's 1
if
per
it-
25.
Okay, so you want 2?
Yeah. Well, it's not, I want to.
No, right,
It's
but I just wanna-
it's the law states you have to have 1 for every 25 spaces.
Okay, so if we want to edit the current site plan, we can just add, I would say, the other handicap spot on the opposite side of where that C is right there. We'll just put another star, and we'll put the 2 front parking spaces as handicap accessible, if that works for you guys.
Works for me.
Yep.
And only one's required to be van accessible, right?
Yeah, I mean.
I have 2 handicap accessible signs and they both say van accessible,
Yeah,
so
but hold on.
if you just put the star, it'll be the same thing, so at least they'll be handicap accessible.
Give me 1 second and I will. Yeah,
Right.
you need a space. So you almost need 3 spaces because you have to have a space for a car, then you have to have another space for a side access van, and then another space.
Which is, if you look at where the handicap spot is, that actually is, if you kind of go past the property, the sign, the Cooper's sign of the tires is there. That's where the handicap sign would be, which allows for about, I think it's like 15 feet from there to, what is it, the grass area, and then the road after that. So it does allow for the 20 something odd feet that would need a parking space. And on both sides, it would allow it.
Yeah, I was just looking at the ADA requirements.
Yeah, I kind of put in that buffer just in case we needed extra footage up there. So there's no customer parking or employee parking on that opposite side of that sign. So it'll allow for us to expand as need be.
I think you have to mark the
Yeah, you
van
have to
one,
mark
so
it.
you have to, it's like X's or whatever.
Whoever paints it will know how
Yeah.
to do it.
Exactly. Yep.
But question,
Yes.
do you have downcast lighting now?
We do. So I have all of the stuff that is ordered, right? So I had it ordered. I just have to wait for the electrician to install it. I had gone up there to try to do it myself, essentially, and it's way too I just can't do it, kind of a thing. And so our electrician is actually coming out, and he will be doing it for us.
There's my understanding you had trouble getting
I
those
did.
things, and then now they're here. They're on site right now?
Yep, I have them.
Okay. Okay. And the berm is going to be constructed near the road to direct water away from the main road about his property?
Correct.
That's correct? Okay.
Correct. So if you kind of see that bottom left corner of the building, and you look at kind of that empty quadrilateral that's right there space, beyond that is where that berm is going to kind of be constructed. And you guys had asked for natural vegetation, whatever the case may be. So we're going to add in whatever that we need to do to make sure it's good to go.
How many businesses are in this building now?
2.
And what are they?
Rent-A-Tech is up front, and Mad Motors.
What is Rent-A-Tech? I mean, I
What
can
is
kind of guess what it is, but what is it, Rent-A-Tech? What do they do?
auto mechanics?
They repair cars.
Yeah, I assume that. So do you go in there and,
So Eric is actually the tenant for Rent-A-Tech, so he can actually speak to what he does if he wants to come up here and
What do
speak
you
into
do?
the mic. Eric, come to the mic.
Sorry, not this era.
I know.
so it's just straight automotive repair?
Body work?
No, automotive repair.
Okay, no body, okay.
So not collision specialty, that kind of.
Just straight automotive.
You need a
Maintenance,
muffler. He's
repair.
your guy.
Yep.
Is there a paint booth on the property?
No.
Okay.
Okay. And what's the other business?
Mad
Yeah.
Motors is
Say
the
again?
Mad Motors,
And what do they do?
the same thing. So they're just automotive repair.
No body work. Painting.
No,
So
not too,
it's,
nope.
it's still a repair shop, automotive repair shop, but it's just two separate businesses doing it. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you.
For the dumpster, which way do they plan to access it to empty it? Because I'm just thinking,
Straight in and straight out. So that's why if you look at the right side of that building, there are no cars that are being parked on either of that end. That would allow for not only the fire truck to get in, but the dumpster to be removed by the truck that needs to kind of just go straight in, straight out.
okay, I wasn't sure if the opening was facing the parking spots, and so the parking could potentially block it.
Yeah, so the opening should be, facing the front, that where they would be coming in from.
Okay, so
Straight
it
in, straight
faces
out.
like the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that way, yep.
And that is fenced in, correct?
Correct, because
Okay.
that is what you guys want. I will fence it in.
Yep.
Do you have a specification on fences, or is that one of those
It
in the
is-
town laws things?
I know it's specified in the ordinances.
Okay. I'll make sure to check them.
The reason for the fencing is because there's a big problem with bears.
Definitely, yeah.
And I don't know if they want to get in and get into rusty mufflers, but it's just what's good for one is good for all. That's basically what it's.
Sounds like a plan.
Also stops people throwing stuff in your dumpsters.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah, for sure.
So you said all the parking is going to be on asphalt?
Correct.
That means you're going to be paving part of this?
No. So there's enough, if you're talking about the back half of the parking lot, I went out and measured it. So actually, there is, if a car length is 16 feet, plus there's 25 feet to the building. So there's over 30 plus feet in between there, which would allow, that's just of asphalt. And then there's an additional 5 feet of gravel beyond that, which is about 36 and some change. So if you pulled all the cars forward, it still gives you the enough room for the fire truck to get through at 18 feet. But we have
Because
20.
it isn't clear on this big print
Mm-hmm.
where the gravel is and the asphalt is.
So,
Halfway past the building, the line stops.
so do you
And
see
then
where
I
like the
have-
dotted line is? That was kind of that corner. That dotted line is the asphalt line pretty much all the way around. When it gets to the parking spaces in the back, I couldn't necessarily do the dotted lines just because it looks like the parking spaces are connected there. I didn't add in that 5 feet of gravel because beyond that is all gravel or grass or whatever. So I just assumed that it's just not for our parking spaces.
Are you going to be painting lines for all the spaces or just the handicap spots?
Whichever you guys would
So
recommend us to
asphalt
do.
here,
At the moment, just the
gravel.
handicap spot. But if we need to kind of keep it nice, neat and organized, we can do that as, as well.
Where does it go from here?
Mm.
It's not the dotted line.
It looks like there was a line here.
We need more line.
Stephanie, can we see you a minute?
Make sure you have this.
Yeah, make sure you talk into the microphone, please. Sorry.
See this
Yep.
gravel?
Yep.
That goes nowhere. What's in, where,
It goes to, sorry.
there's no line there. That's why.
Oh, is that, okay. So if you look, is this the
Microphone,
original-
microphone. Sorry.
Microphone. Is this the original one I drew? Or
This is one.
This is one, okay.
This one shows it coming over. And
So
you see what I mean?
this
So
is this
gravel.
was the original snow storage is kind of what you're talking about here.
I'm worried
um,
about the gravel as opposed to asphalt. This one that you just gave us, it ends here. This dotted line according to this line, this is gravel. So this dashed line is not indicating asphalt. Because,
So it should go to pretty much here. This is,
and
no,
this
this
says,
line,
this says existing gravel.
so it's probably, it's just all of this here.
I don't know.
So that's why, so see, if we look at the dotted line that's here, if we kind of piece it together here, see the curve? This is the curve here. So this is all
And
the snow
this
storage is
says
back here.
existing
Looked
asphalt
like there was
way
a
down
line
here,
there. It's just
Right,
not
right
up
here.
here.
So this is all gravel to here. So this is all gravel, gravel, gravel. I think when I had copied it, this right here didn't get copied. So if you can kind of see
Okay.
that line there. So that's my own fault
Okay,
when I copied it. So if you look at here, this line should be connected to that parking space right there. all the way
That's
across.
what
So,
it
yeah,
looks like.
so-
That's what was there.
Same deal here, just when I copied it, it didn't copy over at Staples. So if you go from here to here, that's where that the gravel is. So same deal, just draw a line from here to this parking space. Additional gravel.
Okay,
Gravel
okay.
goes beyond.
This is gravel too?
Yep.
Yep, yep.
So
Of course it
gravel
is, yep,
and then-
yep.
well,
Sorry about that. I didn't
that's
catch
a
that one.
condition anyway.
Probably added on yours.
I will add it on my fancy dancy one too.
Mhm. Good.
This way.
Anything else from the board?
So if the parking spaces on the backside are not going to be painted with lines, I think they should at least have those little plastic or cement like bumpers on the ground in front of the spaces, just to designate where each space is, so you don't have people parking poorly and reducing the amount of parking spots.
Okay. I think we'll probably end up painting the whole thing. It'll make it look a lot cleaner. But I definitely will get the handicap one for sure painted first, and then we can go through, as long as I can get everybody to kind of remove cars and paint it and make it look nice.
Anything else from the board? Anything from the public? Yes, sir. We need to get you a microphone, sorry.
Trying not to have, well, I'm Eric Flynn from 549 West Main Street, Renatech. When we first began this, I had U-Hauls on location. There was not any type of permit or any type of application that I needed for that. But it was canceled because of the situation going on at the lot. So while I got the board's attention, I was asking, was there anything that I should do or need to do to, if we get approved to operate as normal, is there anything that I need to do to resume U-Haul?
Well, it's not,
Another business.
it's another business.
Oh,
It's a different type of business. That's why I asked what the two existing businesses did.
all right.
So this site currently is approved for automotive repair. It's not approved for renting anything.
Okay. All right.
So,
Nor repairs, because that was a big portion of, my, yeah, that was a big portion of my, how can I say, overall earning, and like I said, at the time that we came in previously, I had a approved occupancy permit on that location. And you used to have a gentleman that was on the board and he found something in the in the law about 6 months after I began to operate on that location that said any new business needed a new site plan. Now, I know we spoke before of things called grandfathered in. So this office, this board, that office right there issued a site plan on this location. My business has not changed. The name has not changed, but I had an occupancy permit based on a site plan that was legal on that location. Now, I understand that, you found, a law that said I cannot operate without a site plan, but there was a site plan when you gave me the occupancy permit. So it seems that based on the failure of I don't know, the planning board or whoever the land use coordinator was at the time, but they issued an occupancy permit, and I took on a bigger culpability on that location based on that occupancy permit. So there's so much changing, but my business is staying the same, but I'm being limited constantly on what I can do on that location. So I'm asking that there be some type of remedy that don't leave me out in the cold based on, the town's failure to properly make sure that the occupancy permit that they were submitting or approving, because I paid my money, even though it was $50. I did all the steps that I was supposed to do based on the site plan that was on record. So is there anything that this board can do to help remedy that? Because it's been 8 months, well, no, it's been a year almost that I've been shut down and restricted use for absolutely no fault of my own, no fault of Renitex. So to not be tread on so harshly, because we went through the conservation, which we found that that was not something that should have shut us down. As you see, there's multiple businesses in this building. At the time, there were 3 businesses in this building. I retained the front of that building. There was not one violation on Renitec that constitute me being placed on any type of restriction, especially not this long. So I'm just asking the board, can we please do something to help me out? Because my business will fail if I cannot continue or if I cannot operate based on the site plan and occupancy permit that was issued when I started this business. I will fail. So, weigh it down or reject it, something, but I need to have some type of closure in this matter.
What about a change of use? Could he add
Yeah,
that?
yeah. So I would, the use for the property was automotive repair. It is still automotive repair. The issue has been getting a site plan in order. But once this is addressed, then you could open a new case for a change of use for the additional use of renting U-Hauls or U-Haul, trailers from that property, given it is a commercial property. It would be a separate process from this current process, but it would be a change of use to just add an additional function, similar to how
So you would
it was
update,
never car sales. And so getting the car sales is going to be a change of use from the automotive business.
But we would need to do a new site plan again.
no, you would
No.
update the
That's one.
existing site plan
You'd
to
amend it.
add that use to this property.
Mhm.
Well, would there even be there would only be a site plan update if there were any physical changes? Like if they were just to use existing parking spots for the trailers, I would see they would only need a change of use and then potentially any signage related
The permit, yeah.
paperwork if they're going to be putting up U-Haul signs.
Yeah, so he would be adding a new use to the property.
Ms. Alden?
And from what we have in front of us, there would definitely be a parking question.
Oh, sure.
I have 2 issues. I've been on the board since this whole thing started. And Eric, I didn't think you were the person doing the U-Haul. It was another gentleman who came in for the U-Haul who was working in an office on the side of the building. So I'm confused.
That's been me the whole
It was
time.
you the whole time?
The whole time.
Okay.
And yes,
The
ma'am.
other thing is just be cautious if you do come in for a change of use to go to the U-Haul. Make sure you have enough space to park any rental vehicles you may have. That would be my only concern. Okay?
Can I address the board for one more concern? And so there are two businesses.
Just make sure you speak more into the microphone, please. Sorry.
Yes, sir. So there, as we know, there are two businesses in this building. My biggest hurdle is to be separate from the other business, whether I'm going to say we need to be separate from each other. Because if I'm the nuisance on a location, I do not want to be shut down. I do not want someone else shut down because of my nuisance and vice versa. So is there a way that this board can clearly separate the two entities of this building? So because we're on the same lot, we're going to be, and I mean, that's kind of harsh seeing that, you guys operate on the same building with the town downstairs, the tax collector. And if they neglect their job and get fired, you guys are not going to get fired, even though you're in the same building. So is goose and gander, is it good for me or good for you guys and not for me? And same thing with the outlets, Tilton outlets. If Nike failed, to properly comply with a regulation, does that take down, K Jewelers? How do we make one business accountable for one business? Because we have different insurance, we pay different taxes. The only thing that we do is we reside on the same property, like all of us reside in the same community. If my house is trash, we're not going to tear down your house, because my house is trash next door. There has to be a division with unit A, unit B, um, mailing purposes. And the reason why, another reason I bring that up, I could not get a inspection station on this location because there was already one in the building. He's gone now. E-cards is gone. But if I I'm sorry, and I'm being presumptuous thinking that we're going to be approved. But if we are approved and I file for a state inspection station and they approve me, then that leaves Mad Motor without a state inspection station. And the automotive business is hard pressed to operate without an inspection station. Again, there's a dealer plate. Sometimes we get vehicles that are not registered or not inspected, and we need that plate to test drive these vehicles to you know, make sure, we did the correct repairs. So if I get one first, then Mad Motors can't operate. So there's nothing that we can do to separate the two entities, even though we're on the same lot.
So the
The violations on that property
Yes, ma'am.
are between the Tilton Code Enforcement Officer and the property owner.
Yes.
So whether it's Rent-A-Tech or Mad Motors or the owner itself creating the violations,
Yes.
it's the owner who's going to have to answer to the Tilton Code Enforcement Officer, not the property, not the business owners directly.
But
You would answer to the landlord.
we were going to get shut down based on what was going down on the lot. The landlord wasn't going to get fined. So that was not going to affect the landlord because I would have still had to pay my rent being shut down. So either we are not articulating it in a way that everybody can understand it, because I've been to the meetings for the last year and I begged this board not to shut us down. So we were going to get shut down, and the landlord wasn't going to get shut down because he don't operate on the premises. So yes, sir.
so if the business was shut down on that property, that would have impacted the landlord. It would, because now the landlord would have an issue with,
Tenant.
the tenants.
We still have to pay rent. So it's not an issue for the landlord.
But that all depends on what is in your rental agreement.
And that has nothing to do with this
That has
board.
nothing to
Okay.
do with us.
You
All
have
right.
court.
So what
And
does
so
have,
the
No, it has
big
nothing to
difference.
do
no. I understand that. I mean, that's law. You said it. But what does have something to do with this board is, like I explained, the state inspection machine and the dealer, plate. That definitely affects one of the businesses on location, definitely affects the other business.
So the primary difference between this property and, let's say, the Tainer outlets is this property has a single address and a single building, whereas the Tainer Outlets has multiple units within that structure. So you and Mad Motors are renting the same property. You're renting the same address. You're
And-
operating two businesses out of it,
Could they
but
say?
it is a single
So you-
address. So only one anything address based, only one business is entitled to, unless the property owner were to actually go about converting that building into two separate units with two separate addresses.
So you see what you're saying to me? Then you saying that two people are renting the same business, the same building, same entity. So how can we even operate off two different occupancy permits if we're just one business?
The occupancy permit is for the property and the property owner, and technically doesn't have anything to do with the tenants.
Okay.
It sounds like that there has to be a remedy of, what's the address? 549 West Main Street, Suite 1 and Suite 2.
That's exactly what I'm
And-
asking.
It still is the property.
No, I know
owner.
that, but that's something that
Property owner.
Cool,
that's what I mean. That's the only way I can see you, because just like if you since you brought the Tanger Outlets as an example, each one of those stores is a suite, and they're suite 101, 110, whatever they are, and same thing. It's almost like you could have like 549 R, 549 F.
A duplex home.
But that's
But that's up to the landlord.
that's up to the landlord. I don't know how to go about doing that. I don't know that, but that's, to me, that's Eric logic.
Okay,
That's just
Yeah,
fair
all
enough.
I
This-
have.
the current issue is that
It's on
a
both.
But
single
911.
suite was rented to two tenants, and they share the same type of business, and that causes conflicts.
Fair
If
enough.
one of you was a graphic print shop,
Yep.
then there would be no issue as far as the state inspection.
Fair enough.
Check with the deputy chief and the fire department for 911 address, because that would be two businesses.
Fair enough.
All right. All right. Anything else? I'll close it to the public. Back to the board. Any motions to be made?
Motion to approve pending updates for the additional handicap parking space and the correction of the boundary of the gravel.
Could I add some conditions
Mm-hmm.
to that motion? All parking on asphalt. There are currently just two businesses on the property in compliance with our lights and sign ordinance.
Fence around the dumpster. I'd like to add that, please.
Fence around the dumpster.
We don't require that anyways.
Did you get those? Pat? On the pavement?
On
I
asphalt.
have all
Slash
parking on the asphalt. And the second one, I didn't get lights and sign ordinance and fence around the dumpster. What was the second one? I didn't get that.
Limiting it to two
businesses,
businesses,
thank
you.
the two existing businesses.
I don't think so.
May I ask a question here? If you limited it to two businesses, then that means the landlord himself cannot have his business there.
I asked how many businesses were in there and I
You
was
said
told
two?
Is he
Two.
not intending to have a business there?
We don't have a business there.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
set. We're all set.
And while we're in discussion, so if the U-Haul becomes something that's desired on this property, then they would apply to update this site plan.
Mhm. They would change the parking spaces from a C, which is a customer, to a
You
a
come in
U
and
for
show
a
us-
U-Haul and
you
come in and, right,
show us the plan.
and do the plan, and that would be on the tenants if they wanted to change that.
Mhm.
Who knows? Maybe
Did you
at
get
some
all the
point there's
conditions,
a
Pat?
proposal
Well,
to.
we have a motion. Do we
Second.
a second? Now we can have discussion.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I just wanted to make sure he knew.
I got a tough person over there I got to answer to, so. She lives down the street from me too, so it's like keep hiding. All right.
Uh,
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Hey,
Opposed? Motion passes
6-0.
6-0.
Thank you.
Fine. I think you should go out and celebrate tonight, Eric.
Wait a minute, I
Yep.
changed my
Yeah.
mind.
Yep.
I would like to thank Eric, though, on behalf of, he has done a great job out front,
No, I did write a little something, sorry.
Good enough.
Stephanie, some of those mine,
Yeah, he's
my
been
old
to every
ones. Did you-
meeting.
Yeah,
practically, yeah.
she needs
Yeah.
to make sure you have a
It's
big
got a good
copy.
first name.
I had a big copy of
This
one.
is what you
Got a
brought
good
me.
Okay,
first
good.
name.
You're gonna take this? Oh, you already take these two, okay.
I'm gonna take them unless you want one.
No,
Nope.
no, 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 thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you.
I know. And he kept.
He
plugging
did
away,
everything he was
and
supposed to.
Everything, and he was working every day.
You know, it's hard, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I had some.
Well, thank you. It was very nice
Oh,
meeting
thank
all
you.
of you.
I think you're glad to say goodbye to us, aren't you?
Yes, goodbye.
Next time.
I hope not, but
It sounds like he'll be back for you all.
All right.
Yeah.
I would like to make a motion to.
Next on our agenda is the approval of the minutes of June 11th, 2024.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? I was confused until I just reread it, so I'm okay. I missed the part where Jane moved to continue that meeting, these guys from that one. So I was like, why is there a public comment in the middle of their testimony about something else? So, good. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 6-0. Other business. I have something.
No,
Yes.
I have a question.
I have a question and an issue that is a question. What is the policy on off-premise signage advertising on someone else's property for something else? And I don't want to name names. There is a business in the exit 20 area that has a vehicle parked on another business's lot. It doesn't move. It's advertising a business in another town.
Nothing you can do about it.
Okay.
It's a parked vehicle. It's technically not a sign.
It happens all the time.
Yep.
You'll see trailers,
Yeah.
They
Oh, I
have-
know they have it.
and those will get parked in a place and live there.
Yeah, but it's
forever.
not. They're not the property owner. And I only say that because I thought at one time there was an issue with the outlets advertising on their sign for something else.
Well, an off-premise sign, that's a sign stuck in the ground is one thing.
Okay. But a mobile sign is.
Mobile vehicle, a motorized vehicle or a trailer with the sign written on the side of it,
That's a,
it's been an issue, but there's nothing we can do.
no,
about it.
I just had to get clarification because I knew
It's a
there
good
was
question, though.
Wouldn't
would
that be
be
the
one
same as a
thing-
billboard?
No,
no, because it can move.
because I
Mobile.
can,
It's
so
mobile, it's portable.
But it wouldn't a billboard be off-premise signage, though?
No.
well, a billboard,
If-
there's only a couple places in Tilton where we can have, where
Yeah.
billboards are allowed.
And they're grandfathered.
Yeah, if one appeared in one of those places, it would be illegal. but let's say Dawson's Concrete. Okay, I've got a big box van and it says Dawson's Concrete in it. And I park it on my brother's property at the foot of the hill. Nothing anybody can do because I got permission from him to store my truck there.
So you take the wheels off it,
Still a motorized vehicle.
till you take the wheels, and it's not, it's stationary.
No, it's still a
No, it's
motor
still a
vehicle.
motorized vehicle.
Then the question is it a junk?
Is it registered?
Is it
That's, yes,
registered?
it has to be
That
registered.
becomes the question.
But I don't know if you need wheels. I guess.
Don't-
And
Well,
then,
you could say, I've ordered some fancy rims and they haven't come in yet.
and then I have one other one, because I've been driving around. There's another business in town on, I think it's East Main Street. That it looks like they might be doing automotive repair next to the landscaping place. There's always cars parked out the back, and I've noticed that they've kind of changed a lot.
The landscaping place does automotive
Nope,
repair.
it's not that. It's next door.
What landscaping place?
Is it SGTK? Is that the name of it?
Oh,
GTM?
GTM?
GTM. Next door to there, there's a house that it looks like they could be doing repairs.
Well, I mean, if you're
That's something you
Doing
report to the code
repairs.
enforcement officer.
Okay, I will.
Zoning code enforcement.
That's all I have. Sorry.
Those are always fun to chase down.
I
the
just
fine line between
So
repairing
reported.
vehicles on your own property and operating a business.
I'll call you tomorrow so I can
Okay.
No, it's
officially.
not.
All right.
You can repair your vehicles on your own vehicles on your own property.
Yep.
You're allowed to do that.
Right, but it's when
If you do it for money, that's different.
Yeah.
That's,
What about?
you're engaging in commerce.
Anything else to come before the
It
board
is
this afternoon or this evening?
I think Catherine
Oh,
has-
Catherine, did you have something?
Oh, have we heard anything on 11 Maple Court? There was supposed to be some viewing and a report written by our public works director.
Not that I know of, no.
I mean, we haven't had much rain, I don't think, since then.
I think we had some over the weekend.
Yeah,
Oh,
last
over the
couple of
weekend we
days.
did.
But that was a
That's
Sunday.
right.
We
That's
need
right.
pouring
We
rain.
did have some.
We
So
need,
maybe something's coming. but
we need
went through
pouring
a
rain.
week without it.
It's been,
Right. And that last torrential downpour ended up on
Not a
7 and 9 Maple Court.
Okay.
But
No,
it
I was just curious.
way
if you-
down, let me rephrase that. It didn't end up where early on when the renovations were taking place. It came down the road, in the middle of the road, down the driveway in the middle of the road, and then it scooted across the bottom driveway into 7 and 9 Maple Court.
Okay.
So that was good 80% of the water.
Because I think that's where we are with that. We're in a holding pattern
no,
Right.
till we get that report, correct?
correct.
That's correct. The lawyer's on vacation as well, so.
That's our only iron in the fire, isn't it? Isn't that our only?
We'll just
Pending?
clear. Pending? I don't think, yeah.
You're lucky, I have 3.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
I need 2 people to sign that Mylar, please, so I can go to the registry and.
Sure. Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Non-debatable, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Have a nice night. See you in July.
Nate, you're the vice chair. Are you gonna sign with Eric?
Speed right along, isn't it?
Anybody can sign now, I think.
can't wait.
It's changed for some reason. I don't know why.